morning. It is Saturday, so I'm going to start another weekend in my life. So actually today I do have some plans. I'm also going to take 2 vitamins. That's not one of the, well, it is one of the plans. But anyway, I am still having difficulty opening this. I am going to go to the Lion King with my friend. I won the lottery yesterday. So these are actually really smushy. They kind of look like dots, but they are a lot gummier. But my friend and I are gonna go to the Lion King. I won the lottery. If you don't know what the lottery is, basically you're winning the ability to purchase tickets at a very discounted rate. So I've gone to like almost all of the major shows on Broadway with the lottery. So the price for Lion King was $30 for the ticket and a $4 service fee per ticket, and you can choose up to 2 tickets. The one issue though is that when you do enter the lottery, you have to have pre-selected how many tickets you want. So I had only wanted to do 1 because I like all of my friends work. So I wasn't sure if I could get a friend who could come on with me on today's show, but luckily I was able to find someone. I also have a theater membership that I use to get very discounted tickets as well. I do recommend that if you are like traveling here, especially if you're like planning on going to shows, if you are eligible, look into the TDF membership, because you don't have to like live in the city or anything. You just have to show your ID. You either have to work for like a nonprofit, be a student, be retired, or work in the arts or something like that, and you can get the tickets for very cheap. You just pay like the membership fee, which I think is like $120. But if you're going with like multiple people to a show, that'll easily be 1 show worth of savings. But I have not used it in 2021 either, so I just supported them. So basically what they do is they use the money from the membership to support some of the arts programs that they run. My understanding is that they also do it for like doing some support for like children and school groups to go to shows. But I might be wrong about that, but it's all on their website about what they do. It's a nonprofit, so I guess it is tax deductible, I guess, if you're into that. But yeah, anyway, I am rambling. So I'm gonna go take care of my coffee, and it's just the same as usual. So I did the Nespresso, and then I also made the black milk tea. I found out just now that it's actually a lot earlier than I thought it was. Also, like, I have no makeup on, but my neck and my face skin, I feel like maybe this is like just a me problem, but my face is like more pink than the rest of my neck, or like the rest of my body in general, and then my hands are a completely different color. This has been like this like my entire life, but anyway, it makes makeup very difficult. So it is a lot earlier than I thought it was, but I'm going to go to the post office early and then come back and just be able to like rest and stuff before I go out later tonight for the show. Bobbi Brown today. I'm gonna try to remember to use this primer today, so I'm gonna just put it on my eyelids right now. This one is from a BoxyCharm, but it's kind of like really thick and it's pretty sticky, or at least that's what I recall it. I've only used it a couple of times, like I said. Okay, so I put them on. Sorry, I hate using my fingers for things, but I think that you're supposed to use finger for using eyeshadow primer. So it's on there now, so let's just use this, I guess. I don't know if I like it. But I think it could also be because this isn't my favorite palette. This one's like cool tone, but I figured it would go better with my blue shirt and gray sweater today. I still haven't decided what I'm going to wear to the show, but yeah, so actually this is out, so I'm gonna go, hold on, I'm going to change the battery number 1 and then find a new eyeliner. Okay, so I think I'm gonna open this one. So if I didn't have plans tonight, I would use this one, but I don't think it's water resistant. Oops, sorry about that, that was probably really loud. But I don't know if it's water resistant, and also this one is like very weird feeling. It's from BoxyCharm. So anyway, I'm gonna use this one. It's pretty old because it's like before they had their name change. So I got this from Sephora as like a sample. Okay, so I am back. I also just remembered that I was reading online yesterday, I think it was on Insider, about, so I did just get this one out, about Juvia's Place and how, basically how problematic they are. I had no idea. So I do have that one palette that I got in my, what's it called, Trend Mood. So again, I didn't like go out of my way to spend my money there, so that's how I'm going to justify using it. I know probably some people aren't gonna like agree with that, but like I didn't spend my full price, you know, money. It was just a surprise like box. So yeah, basically what happened was they used a lot of racial slurs in the past, and then also this influencer that they had used an Asian slur, and then she like pretended that she didn't know it was a slur, and then both Juvia's Place and that influencer did really bad apologies, and they took no accountability for it. And then apparently there was also some issues in the past with how Juvia's Place doesn't collaborate well with people of color. Oh, also, that's how I similarly feel about this. This was a sample, free sample from Sephora, so that's why I'm using it. Okay, so this is actually pretty old, which is why I was using it. I think I got it as a birthday gift in 2019. That's how old this is. So I don't know if it's even working very well because it's kind of hard to apply, and I don't remember this being hard to apply because I used to use this in like high school, back in like 2005 or something. I don't even know. Yeah, so this I think is a little bit dry. So I think I might need to find a different one from in there, but for today I'm just going to use this one. I'm probably going to have to reapply because it's like very light. And it didn't glide on as much as I remembered it doing in the past, so I do think it is an old one, and that was the major problem. So anyway, as I was saying with Juvia's Place, I do have a palette. I haven't used it yet, so I guess I could technically donate it. I don't want somebody else to go through the moral dilemma. But I have read actually that Juvia's Place eyeshadows do not perform very well, which will probably be good for me because I'm not like looking for super strong color payoff, but I'm just letting you know what I read on Twitter. I also barely know how to use Twitter, so I could definitely have like fallen down the wrong path on Twitter. The only reason why I have a Twitter account is so I can follow the New York City subway to know when there's like a detour or delays or something. Okay, this is really dry and chunky actually already. Man, these BoxyCharm items are like striking out today. Ew! So I put it down in the thing incorrectly, and ew, that chunked out. So gross. Okay, hold on, I gotta find like a tissue or something. I am back. That was a lot of product. So I think a lot of product gets stuck in this brush, and since it's huge, it's like a ton of product. But I think I basically just used all of the rest of it, wiping it off with some tissue. But I'm wondering if this will be better now, because it was kind of clumpy. Yeah, so I don't think I would repurchase this because it's also like, this is kind of expensive. I think it's like a $29 or $30 mascara, and like, mascara I go through really quickly because it dries out and my eyes are so sensitive, so I never want to risk it. And then also like that brush had so much junk stuck in it, so I definitely got rid of like half of whatever this amount is. 0.43 fluid ounces. Yeah, it was like a big chunk, like a jelly bean size each time. So I cleaned it off of this, and then I like did the same thing where I pushed the brush down not straight into the tube, and then another like jelly bean size came off. So that's a lot of product that I just wasted. Good thing I didn't pay full price for this. Again, this came in BoxyCharm, so I guess when you think about it that way, if it's let's just say $25 per month, because this came when it was still $5 per item, so I guess it makes sense, because that's like drugstore price. Actually, it's cheaper than drugstore, except for that I always use a coupon. Anyway, this will be fine, I guess, for a $5 price, but in terms of like if this was a $30 mascara that I just wasted 2 jelly beans size worth of product off, I would not have been a happy camper. But anyway, this one, I probably will have to find new for both of these pretty soon because they're both pretty dry. Oops. But, oh, okay, wow, I look crazy from digging underneath my chair. But yeah, anyway, both of those are pretty dry. I'm pretty proud of myself still that I'm going through a lot of items because the way that I do it, again, is I go through and I kind of organize by when it came into my life. But then the one caveat is if I'm sent product to review, I have to put that in front of the rest of the line. So yeah, that's what happened with the mascara, and I think the eyeliner is that I got some to review. But now it's like I'm finally catching up with all my products because of my low buy, no buy. Plus I was like kind of close to finishing most of the things. Okay, so Ciate London setting spray. Okay, this will be the look for now. Again, I'm gonna go to the post office, so no lips for the moment, just because mask, double mask. And then I'll probably have to come in and touch up my eyeliner if I'm being completely honest, because it's looking a little bit sparse right now. This mascara sucks. It's transferring so badly. So I took a little bit of a nap and then I woke up and then I panicked because my friend and I never made reservations for dinner, and because it's like right before a show, and because right now during COVID you have to show up 50 minutes before the curtain time just so that you can have them check your vaccine pass, do all of the check-in stuff anyway. I also like saw Lion King when one of my friends, it was like her #1 life goal, she's probably watching this, to go to Lion King. So she visited in December 2019, and I think this might have been one of the last Broadway shows, like musicals, I saw. Anyway, so we went to that then. So there's a lot of great merchandise, so I'll try to show you the merchandise so you can plan your budget and things like that. I always find that sort of thing interesting and useful. I know when I went to London, I wanted to look up what the merchandise cost for West End shows and things like that. Anyway, that's probably just me. I also had like a very scary experience. So I don't know how to talk about this. So basically, when you are sitting on the subway, you can like see people come in, but I don't like stare at people, I can just sense them. So there were these two men and they were very kind of iffy. Like I could feel their presence and I was like kind of iffy. They were both on something, but they kept like watching me, like very, like I could feel them watching me. So I tried to like figure out where they were getting out. Unfortunately, they got out at my station. So I was like trying to figure out like if I could outrun them, like what, and then basically they followed me for a few blocks. So I did lose them because I did walk really fast. I walk in fast in general, but they were like definitely on some substances. So I was kind of scared because the thing is like my area is like, it's kind of busy, but if you go off a little bit, it's not busy at all. So I was a little bit worried, but I do know where all the CCTV is. On my walk. So if you ever are in a city, I'm sure you already know this, that if you grow up or live in a city, that you should always know where the CCTV or like the surveillance cameras are in front of people's like apartments and things, just so that you can always be seen. Oh, that was the other thing. I did find the same setting spray, the Ciate London one. I think I saw it at Marshall's, and I think I have a clip of me looking at it. And that particular Marshall's, it's at, I think it's at like 79th Street, West 79th Street in Broadway. But yeah, that particular Marshall's always has a really great Korean skincare selection, so I was almost tempted to buy one of my favorite brands, Korean brands. It's kind of expensive, but they had a really great set there, and I definitely took footage of it because I wanted to send it to my friend as well. But yeah, it was a very good price. They also have a ton of Laneige, including the lip masks, and then there was like the famous one, the milky spray or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty famous as well. They had that too. They also had Dr. Jart and Misha. Well, she still looks pretty sexy. I feel like this is still the sexy one. She's still sexy. We're here. So I'm obviously back home. The show was pretty good. It was very interesting to see the difference between the mezzanine view versus the orchestra view. I do think that they're very different like experiences. When you're up high, the mezzanine, you can see more of like the formations of the choreography and things like that, whereas when you're down low, you can see more of the detail of the costuming. So I guess like if I were to recommend it, I would say think about which part you think you would enjoy the most, I guess, or else if you can swing it, like you're very lucky and you're able to win the orchestra seats. So I think that might be where the lottery is, because they usually, when I've won the lottery for all the other shows in the past, they've always thrown us in like less desirable orchestra seats. So like for Kinky Boots and what was the other one that I won? Tootsie. I think I was like in the first row, like right behind the orchestra pit, which is like, it's really interesting because I love watching the orchestra, but the issue is like you're so close and you're like literally, you can see their sweat coming off of them onto you. That's how close you are. No, I'm just kidding. You can't, the sweat doesn't come onto you, but it feels like it's going to. The sweat goes onto the orchestra, unfortunately. Almost a full house, not gonna lie. My friend and I were both kind of surprised by that. She said she had actually gone recently to Music Man as well. So she was very lucky. She saw it right when Hugh Jackman just came off of having COVID. So she saw like the full cast of Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster, like the big names. So she said that was an amazing show. And then also, what else did she see? Oh, she saw Hadestown, and she said that was very, it's a very different sort of show as well. I would say that if I were a child, I feel like it would be, like even as an adult, it was a little bit dark. So I would say like double-digit child, maybe. I think I might have mentioned it before I went, but that's what my other friend and I also talked about, was that it seemed kind of dark, like kind of scary. Like, I mean, I knew that it was going to be scary just in terms of the content of what happens in Lion King and Disney's interpretation of it, but like some of the costuming is kind of scary. I would say if your kids are going to be upset that they're not going to be like cute, lovable characters, maybe wait until they're a little bit older to go to the show. I would say that from this experience, it was fewer young families. There were like maybe a couple of families with children in it. Most of the people there were like young couples or like more middle-aged people. And then again, it might be the difference between mezzanine and orchestra, because I think orchestra is very expensive for the Lion King, just because it's such a famous show. Just in terms of affordability, I think if I would have family, I would probably also sit in the mezzanine, just because it's slightly cheaper. I mean, it's not cheap by any means, but it's slightly cheaper. So that's my review of that. They're being very strict with masking, so if you even have your nose showing before, you're gonna get told by the usher that you need to pull it up. The vaccine process was very quick and easy as long as you had your vaccine card and your ID available. So you just have it and you show it twice. And then it's just typical security where they check your bags. And then also, they don't accept printouts of the Ticketmaster, which I thought was interesting because it's kind of stressful for me because my vaccine card, I don't carry my paper card, I carry the app on my phone from the New York State. So I had to like flip between things. This is like an old lady problem. The other thing I wanted to note is that usually they have like drinks and stuff available for purchase, but I'm guessing because a lot of people use that as an excuse not to wear their mask, they're not selling it at the moment, just because then they don't have to tell people to keep pulling up their masks and things like that. Which I think is smart, but the issue is like it's a very long time to go without any water. So I was like very parched at the end. The gift shop, there is a huge gift shop. I didn't go, unfortunately, just because, honestly, I just wanted to not get yelled at. So I just wanted to follow with the flow of where the ushers are all telling us to go with our tickets. So they just kind of wanted to make sure the flow was moving along. There is a large gift shop, though. Once you get up the first set of escalators, it's off to the left. So we didn't stop there. I did take a couple of photos or videos, short ones, of some of the gift stations. So there's one on the mezzanine sort of level right when you get off of the first set of escalators. And then there's one on the one by the orchestra seats. And then just from my experience last time, there's also one up by the mezzanine level as well. I think I wrote a blog post about it, so if you're curious about what the prices and all the gift shop things look like, definitely go to my blog. It's always linked in my description box. I do that for whenever I go to a show, so I think I have one available for Hamilton, and I think I have one for Harry Potter as well. And then Lion King, I think I wrote one for Lion King. I might have one for another couple of shows. I think Kinky Boots might have been one, or maybe it was Tootsie. I don't know, I always get those two confused in terms of the theater structure, just because their playbills like are read right. But it is Sunday morning, it's the final day. So I just started with my Tatcha And then I'm going to go in with the 111 Skin off camera because this one is such a bear to open. And then I'm going to do the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops. I don't really necessarily think this is that special. I think I say that every time with the Glow Recipe. I don't think it's necessarily my favorite skincare line. I know a lot of people buy it because the bottles are pretty, but like to me that's not enough. I also think that it's aimed at like a younger audience than I am. I think maybe freshman, sophomore in college is like the target demo, considering what the style looks like, or people who like emulate that age, if that makes sense. So yeah, for me, I would say like if I was a freshman or sophomore in college, I was doing like part-time work, right? My college paid actually kind of a lot just because they knew we were students. I think they paid me like $13 an hour, which was like back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s actually. So that was like pretty good money back then. Now it's like not, but anyway, so I would say like this would be like 4 to 5 hours worth of work, which like before taxes. So I don't think that I like this product enough to do 4 to 5 hours worth of work. This is how I justify every purchase. I'm like, oh, okay, so if this is like 1 hour's worth of work, is it worth it? Or is it gonna be like, oh, I wish I would have just kept my money? That's how I justify every purchase. Refilling this. It's just like the free kit that comes when you buy an espresso machine, but I don't have another storage unit or, you know, storage place at the moment, so I'm just gonna refill it. It's not going to be pretty. I just have some random ones left. Okay, so it did turn out to be organized, and then I have 3 of these Stormio ones left, so I'll put those in eventually. But yeah, anyway, that is still the kit that my mom got me for my birthday last year. Snacking my way through Sundays, I have chips and cheese, and then I have that salsa from Costco, the Jack's Cantina. This is pretty good. Having a snack of grapes. Also, I have like tooth sensitivity in my back molar on my left side. It stings. It's from grinding my teeth, and I think I like messed up my teeth by having that bite guard, the new one that I made over Christmas. So yeah, I'm trying to like not wear that for a while to see if it like shifts back to being in normal places. Okay, it is a lot time later. Basically I just like sat on my sofa and vegged for a while, and then I had a couple of emergency work emails I had to deal with, but now it is time to get ready and finally do that unboxing. Also my hair is so long, so I have like no hair, but it grows really fast because it's so sparse. So like the nutrients have to go somewhere, but anyway, it is just so long. So usually I get fed up with it before it's here, and I usually chop it off to like here. So we'll see. I've never actually gotten my hair cut in New York. I think I went one time during grad school, but it was like a horrific experience. I went all the way to Queens and that's like, yeah, that was a struggle. Because it's also like everyone's like, oh, well, you should go to like an Asian hair place. So I went to an Asian hair place, but the thing is I don't really have Asian hair. I mean, it's like Asian hair because it's from my head, but it's not like Asian texture, because a lot of Asian hair is like very coarse and like thick, but mine is like very soft and not thick. So they didn't know what to do with my hair basically. But then that being said, I also used to go to like Cost Cutters or something, Great Clips, one of those like chain ones. And the last time I went there in my hometown, it was like a horrific experience. They cut it so crooked. It was even more exacerbated by how badly it looked because I was wearing a striped shirt, so it was like very much like straight across, and I was like, oh my gosh, it goes like at a slant. And then on top of that, there were chunks that were like significantly longer, like an inch longer, and it was a terrible experience. I went back and they were like, well, you're gonna have to repay. And I was like, why do I have to repay for your person not cutting straight across? And like, there's no way for me to check it from the back because they also like didn't give me the mirror to check it. It was a terrible experience. And they were like, well, okay, well, we'll have the same person cut your hair. And I was like, she was giving me attitude the entire time. Like, I just sat there and I just was like, oh, I want like 4 inches off straight across. And then the entire time she was like lecturing me about how like my hair obviously has never been cut straight across, like blah blah blah, how like difficult I am, how I don't speak English when I obviously speak English. I actually speak better English than she does. That's not a jab at her like racially. She was like very much like she only speaks English, but like her grammar was terrible. So anyway, it was terrible, and I went back to where my mom goes. So she fixed it for me, thankfully. But that was an expensive experience because I had to like triple pay for my haircut. And the thing is like my sister looks nothing like me, but she was treated way differently. I think it might have been racism, to be completely honest. I mean, obviously it was racism because she told me I don't speak English. So I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but like you can tell when the people are going to be like one of those people that are like going to be like, go back to your own country sort of people, just by how they act and they look at you. I don't even know. I feel like somebody just got a dog because I can always hear the dog these days across the hall. I think that the owner goes in and out a lot, so I think the dog is like kind of confused maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about dogs, but it just seems like that might be the case. So I'm going to go back to using this floss. Oh wait, no. I'm going to use the primer first because that worked actually pretty well yesterday to make this, to make my eyeshadow last longer. This worked pretty well yesterday. I also repainted my nails because I made the mistake of doing them like an hour and a half before I had to leave. So I do really think I like this top shade here, the matte kind of taupe color, khaki taupe. So I do like it, but it is very powdery. It kind of is interesting to me that the light shade here, both of these are like matte shades, but the top one here, the lighter color one, is very flaky and powdery, whereas the bottom one doesn't powder and fluff up as much. I don't even know. I'm obviously not a makeup person, so I could just tell you like in layman's terms, one is very powdery and has a lot of pebbles. Okay, that primer is very sticky today. I think I put way too much on, so I have to use a different brush, I think. Yeah, everything looks very cakey today. I don't know what's going on. It must be like my skincare or something. And I am going to go do my unboxing, and then I don't know what else I'm going to do today, if I'm being honest. Kind of feels like a couch day. But yeah, I have been cleaning as well. Ran my Roomba and things like that. But otherwise, nothing else going on. Meal prepping that block of tofu with sauce on it. And then I'm also over here making rice in the Instant Pot, the 1-to-1 ratio with a drizzle of olive oil. So this will be dinner, and then also I think, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, I think that I'm going to put some green beans in here after this cooks down a little bit, just to add a little bit of vegetables. I am so hungry. So I made a little bit of a rice bowl here. Honestly, I might need to find a little bit of sauce. Sorry, you were looking at my trivet. But yeah, it's tofu, beans, and then just rice. But it looks a little bit dry. So after I taste it, I'll figure out what I need to add to it. Okay, so I've been meaning to start editing my video, but I just like haven't been into it. So I'm gonna do that before I go to bed, but I am gonna have a snack because I'm very hungry because I think I didn't eat enough today. But this is another bag of the North Fork potato chips that I bought at the rest stop place for the Taste of New York. They had a bunch of New York specialties and things like that, but these are actually from Long Island, so more local to me than where I bought them. This brand with the regular potatoes were pretty good, but they weren't very salty, so not my style. I like them to be very salty potato chips, so we'll see how these are. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the inside. So they're definitely like sweet potatoes, like the more yellow kind, not the orangish kind, I think, or at least that's what they smelled like when I opened them. So let me try to get some angling in here. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Hold on. Okay, this is a smaller piece. Yeah, so it definitely is sweet potato because there's like the little stripes of like sweetness. Yeah, so these are stale. The potato ones, I think the regular potatoes, since they don't have as much sugar in them, they stay crisp and very crunchy. These are a little bit stale. They're like a little bit not as crispy as I hoped they would be. So let's try one more. There's also like no salt on them at all. Yeah, so I mean, this is just basically like when I make sweet potato fries in my air fryer. They're like crisp but not super crisp. So actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm gonna throw these in the air fryer for like a little bit to try to make them a little bit snappier. Okay, so I did throw it in the air fryer. A lot of oil came out of them actually, so that's like sunflower oil, which is honestly not my favorite type of oil for frying, but you can see it in there. But they did get kind of crispy, so I did sneak one just to see if the crispiness was getting improved. So I'm gonna throw them in a bowl. Okay, so there are definitely a lot of crumbles, like little crumbs in there, little pieces. Yeah, so I just don't think for me personally, sweet potatoes are my favorite types of potato chips and I've noticed that the same whenever I make them myself at home. The sweet potatoes just don't really crisp up as much because of the sugar content, and I think water content, to be honest. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna have this as my snack. Okay, so I'm watching reviews of frozen food, so that's super fun. It's kind of interesting actually, but I just did this Yensa pumpkin turmeric wrap mask. It's a 2-in-1 radiance polishing mask. I'm hoping it'll help me with some of the texture issues. So I just unboxed my Olor Beauty box, but I'm just letting you know this is like I'm actually using it. So I've been using it probably, where did I open it? I think I wrote it on here. Okay, so I've been using it for about 2 months now, and yeah, I at first was trying to use it like every day, so that's how I use so much. And then I tried to use it in like the evening before I went to bed because I was like, well, maybe it'll moisturize my hair overnight. It didn't do that, but this is so scented. Anyway, so I will not be using the new one, so that's just a review of that. And then I have been using this, so this I think is fine, but I don't think I need it for my hair. Again, my hair is like very flat, very like basic, like it doesn't really need that much. So this is like $72 or $75 for this 1.7 fluid ounce jar. I only need like a very little bit for my whole entire head of hair, but again, I don't have very much hair at all. So the thing is like I have to remember not to condition my hair, but that's like part of my routine, so I always forget. So I don't think I would repurchase this. I also don't think necessarily that my hair is the best hair to test it on. I do think it like kind of weighs it down slightly, and again, my hair is just like very medium texture and like very, very, very flat. So it is now Sunday night. Before I turned on this camera, I took the biggest sigh I have in a long time. This weekend was pretty good, I guess. I got some social interaction, which was great, with another person face to face. Okay, this one is so hard to use. So you have to squeeze the tube at the same time as pumping the pump. So it's like very much like you have to really concentrate if you're not with it like I am, because I am very much not with it. So I do think that this retinol is a little bit tamer than the one that I was trying, the Glow Recipe one. So I haven't had any issues with this causing me to have a rash. So also when I was editing my video, my skin looked really good, which is like, I think that meant that I set my light up properly, because it looked like it was very smooth, like I had a smoothing filter on. Maybe it's because I used that pore, whatever this is called, the Touch in Sol No Pore Blend Primer. That's how blind I am. I have to keep very close and still squint. I actually saw that at Marshall's yesterday. So, oh, the other update is I did skip my spring box for FabFitFun. They were trying to get me to like not skip. So basically, I guess there's not unlimited skips if you are a seasonal member. So you have to only be able to skip one time, and then after that you have to pay up front for credit. So I told them I had zero interest in doing that, and then they were like, well, why? I said, because like this is investing in a company, and like for the past 2 seasons everything I wanted was kind of sold out by the time I got there, even though I went on right when it started. Since they're doing a lot of the clean beauty stuff at FabFitFun because they fell into that pseudoscience, I don't think I want to put them into my collection just because they're going to go rancid really quickly. Oh, and that was the other thing. So I actually saw a lot of the items that were in the FabFitFun box at Marshall's yesterday. So I could have like legitimately bought my box there and like filled it with the things I actually wanted, and maybe change out some of the brands if I'm being honest, and still like come in under the $54.99 or $95 or whatever it is now for seasonals. I'm just trying to share my opinion here on the vlog because I think a lot of people get very angry if I share my opinions too much at the spoiler videos, but it's like I'm just the messenger. Oh, the other thing is that hair category. That was the one that was the spoon roast. So as you know, I probably griped about it a lot today because I had a lot of hair care stuff today, but I don't really do that much with my hair. But if I am going to do stuff with my hair, I don't think I would want to try out, you know, some product that I can just buy at Ulta for like less than 20 bucks, because then if I wanted to try it, I could have just bought it at Ulta for less than 20 bucks. You know, because it's also like I could buy it at Walgreens with a coupon, and if I go to CVS, they basically will pay me to take it off the premises, because that actually happened to me. Basically, I bought two things that I really needed, but I ended up only paying like $7, and both of the things that I bought were very expensive. So I bought a refill of my aloe, and aloe is like $20 to $27 a bottle. Or like a package. So I got the one bottle one, which was $20, and then I also bought a refill of Salon Paws, which are also like $20. So I had enough coupons and I stacked it. It got to be like $7. So like I was very proud of myself for that. I don't know, I feel like really bad for people with like actual really strong allergies. So I just know I have a couple of like oils that I can't use, and that is definitely sweet almond oil, and the other one is like coconut oil. That is everything for tonight and the end of this weekend. Hopefully it was somewhat interesting. I tried to get some interesting footage. I don't know if I succeeded or not. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. It definitely was. But I will talk to you tomorrow with another beginning of the work week in my life, which will not be that. Oh, that was the other thing. I won 6. Like the Broadway show that I really wanted to see. Like I probably would have preferred seeing 6 over Lion King. I won the tickets for tomorrow from the lottery. But like, honestly, I don't know when I'm gonna finish work tomorrow. And then my friend said like, one of my friends, I texted and she can't go because she has to work. And then my other friend was like, oh, we just went to Lion King. I can't see 2 Broadway shows at one time in the same week. So totally understand. It is a big commitment. But hopefully my luck will continue because I really want to see that show. But I also like don't want to pay $200 for it. Sorry. I don't make that much money and I'm kind of cheap. So yeah, anyway, that's my dishwasher, so I'm gonna go open it up so it gets all like not watery in there, and then I will talk to you in the mornings.